What is your opinion on ad libs in a song?
I think ad libs is very important, man. I'm from the old school, so I still like to make sure that my music feel full. So I do like a 3 track. I do like, the lead track, the in and out, and the ad lib. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Anything else could be mixed and mastered how the engineer do it. So, keep it simple and move on.
Now, when it comes to your ad libs, just on that for a second here, do you have a strategy when you implement them and how you implement them?
When it comes to the ad libs, I just do what I feel. You know what I'm saying? I like to say words twice sometimes. I like to animate, you know what I'm saying? And I just like people to see my personality when I'm doing my ad libs.
Now, be that as it may, do you have a signature ad lib by any chance?
Yeah, I got a signature ad lib. Wait, hold up. And yeah, 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 yeah. You dig.
And these are all separate ad libs, or this is something you do all together?
I just do them, whenever I feel it. But you're gonna get that wait, hold up, or that yeah, 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 yeah. You're gonna get that in there for sure.
Now, what are the meanings behind these ad libs when you implement them?
It's just something that came up, man. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed repetitiously I was doing it, and the fans caught on to it. And when the fans repeat something, I know that's something that they like. So I always do something for my fans to keep them happy.
Now, when it comes to each of these ad libs here, were you the first recording artist to ever do any of them?
I believe I was the first to do it the way I did it, but I don't think I was the first to ever do anything because nothing new under the sun.
Were you inspired by anybody in particular with either of these ad libs here?
Um, I wouldn't say I was inspired by anybody. I just do me, man. I like the trend set. I don't follow trends. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, when it comes to collaborating with other recording artists, which you do, have you ever added your ad libs to another artist's verse on the same song?
Nah, I never added my ad libs on another artist's verse. I don't think they want to have my ad libs. I think an artist would prefer to have it their way. You know what I'm saying? That's something special. You making that be what you want it to be.
Because some artists have done that in the past, so didn't know what your experience was with that. And what about this slight twist here? What's your opinion on songs with an artist's ad libs on them, but no hook or verse from that artist in particular? It's just their ad libs sprinkled throughout the track.
I think that's lazy, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that's cheating the fans. Like these days, man, especially me being where I'm at in my age and things, I want to hear substance. I don't want to hear a bunch of ad libs and a good beat. You feel me? Like
Well,
you cheating us.
well. Let me just give you a concrete example to make sure we're on the same page here, just to avoid any confusion. So Kanye West has a song called "Can't Tell Me Nothing." Jeezy ad libs throughout the song, but no hooker from Jeezy on that song. It's just his ad libs sprinkled throughout. What's your opinion on that?
Um, Maybe he wanted to, get that Jeezy vibe, because like I say, the ad libs is a vibe. So if Kanye did it, man, it was unique.
Now, he's not the only one to do this. There are several other examples, but what's your opinion on that? An artist's ad libs sprinkled throughout a song, but no hook or verse from them on that song.
I
Just to
think
rewind it one more time.
I think that's cool if you want to put somebody ad libs on your song, long as you got clearance to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should go around taking people ad libs just to make it seem like you got a verse or you got their permission to do it. You know what I'm saying? You need to make sure it's clear.
Now, just stepping back here for a second and just thinking of this equation an artist's ad libs sprinkled throughout a song. Have you ever been asked for this request personally? And vice versa, would you be open to something like that in the future?
Actually, this is something new to me that I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would be more than happy to do my ad libs in somebody's song, that want me to get in there. I do that.
Especially when it comes to your signature ad libs, which you mentioned.
Exactly.
And let me just, for the audience, give some other examples just so Kanye West is not alienated here. Childish Gambino has a song called This Is America, Young Thug ad libs, but no hook or verse from Thug on that song. Lil Yachty has a song called Who Want to Smoke, Block Boy JB ad libs, no hook or verse from Block Boy JB on that song. And the Carters, that's when Jay-Z and Beyonce are together, they have a song called Ape Shit, Migos ad libs
Yeah,
on the song, but
yeah,
no hook or verse from the Migos
that's cool.
on it at all. So this is something that others do. Um, don't know how prevalent it is at this point, but just curious on what your state of mind is on that
Yeah.
equation there.
Yeah, I think that's cool, man. Like I say, this is my first time really just hearing that, and now I'll get it more attention. You know, I'm a person that like to hear something like the substance of a song, so I wouldn't be paying attention to an ad lib or to the beat. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying attention to what you're saying, and if you're not saying nothing, then I'm moving on to the next.
Can you explain to the audience everything they need to know about Joseph?
Man, you know, Joseph is more of a personal piece for me. When I was incarcerated, man, I read the story of Joseph in the Bible in Genesis chapter 37 through 50. And when I read it, man, I saw so much similarities in my life. Joseph was lied on, he was betrayed, he was hated on, you know, he was sold into slavery, he was put in prison, you know. But through it all, man, he kept his faith in God. You know what I'm saying? He never did stir to the left or to the right. He kept his eyes on God, you know. And when he went through his situation, man, and you know, after he came out of it, he basically was like, the devil meant it for bad and God meant it for good. He sent me ahead of y'all to save y'all life, you know. So I saw similarities in my life. You know, a lot of people be saying, man, you know, why you always smiling and you go through so much? Or why you always, you know, on a positive tip when people be seeming like they so negative against you, you know what I'm saying? It's because my relationship with God, you know, I know that the favor on my life comes from God. I know that when you're doing the right things, you're gonna suffer from doing right. I know that the devil meaning it for bad and God meaning it for good. You know what I'm saying? So when you know that, man, you just walking on assignment and you waiting on, you know, the big way where God gonna deliver you into what you was went through all that in the beginning for. You feel me? So that's what my take on this whole movement of Joseph, man. And a lot of people they see themselves in the whole display of how I displayed it to the world. You know, people hit me up and they cry like, man, I'm Joseph too. I can relate to that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's more spiritual than anything.
Now let's sidestep for a second just on that topic there. Do you follow a religion by any chance at this point?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. You know, I read the Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. That's where I was brought up from, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, my personal relationship with God, man, like a lot of people, you know, follow religion. I follow spirituality, you know. I don't believe that you have to go to church and find God. I believe that God is in your heart. The way you treat people, you know what I'm saying? The way you love people, you know what I'm talking about? God is love. So if you walking around in love and you displaying all the fruits of God's, you know what I'm saying, characteristics, then you God fearing and you know what I'm saying? I know that God lives in you. I don't too much get into religion. You know, I feel like religion just is a set of rules that man made and you know what I'm saying, used it for their benefit.
Now, prior to this line of thinking that you have now and your outlook and things of that nature, how were you raised exactly? Was it more spiritual or was it under a religion and a set of rules as you described?
Well, coming from a Christian household, my mother always told me about Jesus. You know, my mama always went to church with the next door neighbor. Um, I always see my mama praying, reading her Bible, and you know, had to say our grace at the table. You know, what I'm talking about. I was brought up that way, so it wasn't no religion. It just was a way of life. You know what I'm saying? You had to have a relationship with God after having a praying mama and seeing your mama display these attributes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you not be from that in your adult life as you walk through life, know that this is the only way to overcome things in this world, you know what I'm saying? So it was easy for me, though I strayed away, as I was getting old and going through my experiences in life, fighting drugs, the demons, peer pressure and all these things. I had to basically go back to where I came from in order to get myself together. You know what I'm saying? I feel we all at once upon a time go through the same transition.
Now, you mentioned incarceration here. And sometimes when people are incarcerated, they will explore other religions and values from others and things of that nature that they're surrounded by. Did you take a second to explore other facets and other lines of thinking before you honed in back into the Bible and things of that nature, or you just were honed in on the Bible
I'm
during that time?
my relationship with God, you know, have always been solid. But when you have other religions and you hear other conversations, I'm a man of information. You know what I'm saying? I love to, learn new things. So I'm never closing my ear to knowledge. So when you hear people talking about different religions and different, walks of life, I'm always open for that, but I'm looking for that common factor that we all supposed to walk no matter what your religion may be, and that's love because God is love. We all have that one thing in common. So when you're not doing that, and I see you just trying to be smarter than the next guy just with the knowledge that you know, then I feel like you're not a part of what you're saying you is, you know what I'm saying? So I learned how to, basically look at the spirit of every individual and could tell if their relationship is solid or not.
And was there any sort of, for lack of a better phrase, peer pressure while you were incarcerated to explore other religions or be a part of other factions and things of that nature in
Nah,
that realm?
it never was any kind of peer pressure, no force. I have to be this way. I have to believe in this. You know what I'm saying? In prison, man, it's about respect, and you hear all the things that go on and this, that, you know what I'm saying? That be a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm talking about? If you carry yourself in a respectable way, man, you're gonna be safe, you're gonna make it through there. The way how you is, the way how it gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it was for me. People saw me, one of my sellers was Muslim, you know what I'm saying? And I was Christian, you know, Christ believer, you feel me? But when you listen to what they saying, it's kind of similar and everybody believe a little bit of the same way, you know what I'm saying? But it to me, some of the things that I believe, it kind of like override a lot of other, beliefs. To me, that's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's the cheapest commodity in the world, you know what I'm saying? That's why we all got it. But, I believe that, the way how my relationship is with God, man, like he not gonna mislead me and he haven't misled me yet. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, back to the conversation of this body of work. Do you consider this project an album or a mixtape?
No, this project is an album, a masterpiece. It's something that I expected it to be because before it came out, I told people that it was gonna be one of the best. And the reason why I know that to be true, man, is because I was going through so much. And I feel like what comes from the heart gonna always touch the heart. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning all the way to the end, 17 tracks on there. And I had a lot of people who listened to the album that really meant something in my life that I know when they heard it, they was gonna tell me the truth. So in the whole time of me creating this project, they was there creating it with me. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think you need to do this. I don't think you need to say it like that. You need to do it like this, and I was open-minded to other people's opinion of how this structure should be. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a team, like a lot of people try to do things on their own and say, this is how it gonna be. I didn't try that, this is how it gonna be. This time, I tried the whole operation, my whole Y&T team, my wife leading the pack, you know what I'm saying? And it all worked out, man.
And pardon the brain fog here, but have you done a mixtape before?
Yeah, all my life since I've been home. Not my wife say stop saying all my life, but since I've been home, man, I've been dipping and dabbing. Mixtaping, EPing it. You know, I feel like this is the album that since Young and Thuggin', which was my first solo album, So I dropped that in 2001, I believe. So 24 years later, it took me to drop another album. Young and Thuggin' was a way of life for me. Joseph is a way of life for me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you do an album, it need to be a way of life. And it should be a variety of different experiences in your life where people can say, damn, I can relate to that. I can relate to that experience. I can relate to that experience to where the whole album is relatable. And that's what I gave to the people.
Now, just a little bit more insight on the title itself. Was this a title that you came up with or someone coined for you?
No, Joseph was a title that I came up with when I was in prison. Like I said, that was one of the best books of the Bible that I read because my life was Joseph. You know what I'm saying? And I saw a vision of everything that's transpiring right now. I seen it before it happened. You know, that's why I be so calm. That's why I smile. I get mad because I'm human at times, but I know that I had to go through and I have to go through the things I'm going to get to where I need to be. And right now I have ran its course, you know what I'm saying? I'm right there to where the blessings is about to be bestowed, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who meant bad, you know what I'm saying, they gonna have to come back in. They're gonna have to they're gonna need me to go to the next level. They're gonna need me to eat. They're gonna need me, and I'm not saying that in a cocky, arrogant way. It's just the way how God has written it. You know what I'm saying? Like he chose me for this time, bro. And just like people when I was speaking and saying I was gonna have the best album, people were like, man, whatever, whatever. Those same people who like whatever, whatever is coming back saying, you know what, man, I didn't believe you. I thought that it was gonna be some bullshit. But I have to say, you was right. So I'm walking in purpose on assignment. You know what I'm saying? It's not just any album. It's a God-fearing album that's going to change and impact the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? And only people who are people of faith gonna understand what I'm saying. And people who are not of faith, they're gonna become believers, and then the demons are gonna continue to be mad and extra mad. That's what this album is gonna do.
Now, just for clarification here, you knew you wanted to create an album titled Joseph when you were
When I
incarcerated?
was incarcerated, I knew that I was gonna create an album titled Joseph. You know, that was one of my favorite books in the Bible. You know, I didn't know when it was, but my vision it was manifesting and I was seeing like signs and symbols is for the conscious mind. So if you got a connection with God, you're gonna know when it's time. You're gonna know when it's time. So the times might seem like it's a bad time to people who are walking in a carnal mind. But when you have that spiritual relationship, you know what I'm saying? And my walk is a spiritual connection with God, the time is going to be revealed because my mind is conscious now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no longer on heroin and cocaine. So I can see now. You know what I'm saying? I got my backbone, my rib, my wife. You know what I'm saying? God said when you find a wife, you find a good thing and receive favor from him. So everything that I have from the relationship that God talked to me and tell me about, I already knew it was going to happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the world is about to see tremendous things from this project. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking it and I'm saying it because um, I'm on assignment for God. You know what I'm saying? It's God. So when it happened, people are going to give God the glory. You feel me? Not me. It's bigger than me. I'm just being a vessel, being chosen, and being obedient to the walk. That's it.
And speaking of heroin and cocaine, there was a time you were once a user of each of those substances. How were you able to quit each of them in its totality?
It was a fight. It was a battle, man. When you got that gorilla, that monkey, man, turn into a gorilla on your back, bro. Every day it's like, man, I really don't want to do this, but you don't know how to quit because it's a mental and it's a physical thing, And the only thing that can get you off of it is God. You know what I'm saying? I in my life, bro, I had to get through things with nothing but God. When I was in prison, nothing but God. When I was on drugs, nothing but God. When my wife was going through her breast cancer situation, nothing but God. Everything that I ever went through, being in the industry, signing cash money, nothing but God. You know what I'm saying? People betraying me, nothing but God. So, like everything just been spiritual, man. Like, I can't explain it, but a person that got a relationship with God, they on the other side of that camera and they like, man, this is why I have a connection to him, because it's a spiritual connection. It's not because I'm Hot Boy Turk. See, a lot of people who on the outside looking in, that's walking in the carnal mind, they might think, man, you Hot Boy Turk and you got this, you got that. Hot Boy Turk is a curse. You know what I'm saying? But Tab Virgil, the man of God, aka Joseph, is blessed. You feel me? So it took me to become Hot Boy Turk to save some of the people. It took me to become, a part of that industry to save and do what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just walking the walk, bruh, and not being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, and they are revealed and it's transparent to the world. Some people might say, man, you talk too much. You need to be quiet. I feel like I'm at an age in my life right now where I don't have to be quiet if I'm telling the truth. Telling the truth is not hating. I got this thing, if you tell a lie on me, I'm going to tell the truth. You feel me? So it took a lot of things for that to be able to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like for the snitching situation. At once upon a time, snitching was like it was looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? Now people snitch and they become famous. And, the kids don't care about that. Snitches used to get stitches. That used to be a saying. Now snitches get riches. You feel me? So when they was able to start accepting that, if you can't accept a person walking in his truth, I used to think if a person violates you legally through music, far as if they owe you money and things, I used to think that was snitching. So you know what I'm saying? Before I file a lawsuit, before I do this, before I do that, I try to settle it out of court, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to get the jacket of being a snitch. But when they started honoring the snitches, it's like, if you violate me getting my lawyers on top of the business is the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So my walk with God have opened my mind to other ways of seeing how this life is set up. You feel me? And I'm just walking on purpose now, bro. You know what I'm saying? And nothing can stop me but me.
And pardon the brain fog here, but as outspoken as you are, and some people have seen your outspokenness, like on social media, on your Instagram, for example, and things of that nature, you posting something on your timeline, or maybe you going live on Instagram, and now they see some of your clips on YouTube and your YouTube channel. And before I ask you this next question, just in case there are some fraudulent profiles of you online, care to share your official username, screen name, handle on IG as well as YouTube as well?
My Instagram is Original Hot Boy Turk. That's my official Instagram. My YouTube is Original Hot Boy Turk. My Instagram is the same as my YouTube. My Twitter is Hot Boy Turk, the number 32. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on TikTok, Original Hot Boy Turk, Snapchat, and everything else, man. I'm on everything that's social. And my Facebook is my government name, Tab Virgil Jr.
And care to share the Snapchat screen name as well?
Original Hot Boy Turk.
Now, as outspoken as you are, has there been any thoughts, and again, pardon the brain fog here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, has there been any thoughts on harnessing this outspokenness of yours into your own podcast or your own live streaming channel and things of that nature?
I do have my own podcast, Telling the Truth, Not Hating. When I go live, I feel like that's me letting the world into my life. My podcast partner, Be High, Be High ATL. You can catch us on Be High ATL on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We always doing our thing. Shout out to Wick as another podcast partner. You know what I'm saying? And I think the people who create content and not consume it are, special individuals, bro. You know what I'm talking about? And today, in these days of time, if you're not creating content, you're lost in the sauce, like you left behind. You know what I'm saying? People might not understand who living like a dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? They might be like, getting mad at me from being outspoken and talking, but then 5 minutes later they start doing the same thing. So it's like somebody gonna get on social media, whether you do it now or you do it later. Everybody wants to be seen at once upon a time. Everybody wants to be heard at once upon a time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might just beat people to it. Man, you was talking, and I'm not gonna discuss the contents, but people always would try to, do the things you do after you do it. You know what I'm talking about? People will find a way to slick hate you and be envious and jealous, and you know what I'm saying? Soon when you slip up one little time or you take one little break, you'll be like, damn, man, the whole time you wanted to be in my position. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stay working, bro. You got to stay at it because somebody's trying to take your spot. And that's what I do every single day since I've been home out the penitentiary for 13 years straight. It got me where I'm at now. My name's still ringing 20 years later, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing but God, man. It's not no major label behind me, no major backing. Me and my wife and my team, and we just, give the fans, which are my friends, always never shaded, what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what about stress? Okay. For those in the audience that have seen you deal with incarceration, and you mentioned your wife's breast cancer, and for transparency, she's off camera to the side of you during this interview. You mentioned, the hate that you've received from being outspoken and things of that nature. Uh, do you feel like this point in your life, though, do you feel like this is the most stressful you've ever been in your shoes, or do you think this has been the least stress that you've dealt with? Uh,
When it say stress, man, I think stress is brought on you by your thoughts. If you keep your thoughts on positivity, you can't stress. And my wife, man, she's a firm believer of correcting what you say out of your mouth, the way you think. Like if I didn't have her in my life, I probably would be stressed out. But I have somebody to remind me that leave that alone, get at the guard. You know what I'm saying? You always got to have somebody that knows you, that know when something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So they could come tell you some positive, encouraging words to get you through. You know what I'm saying? So and we do that with each other. You know what I'm saying? We uplift each other, we motivate each other, and we keep on working. We make love, make money, and I think that keep the stress levels down. But us human beings gonna have stress, you know what I'm saying? It's how you deal and how you react to it, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna determine how far it go and if it's gonna affect your health. And when we study that is if you stress, that's what it does. So don't nobody want to be all stressed out, man. So well, you know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing else, you know what I'm saying? So we try to keep it positive, bro, and we keep it positive.
Now, I do want to talk about the relationship of you two together a little bit further in this conversation, but I do have a relatively quick question in regards to her. When it comes to you and her relationship, is this an opposites attract sort of thing? You guys are two polar opposites of personalities, or are you guys, again, for lack of a better phrase, two peas in the same pod? You guys think a lot alike, similar to one another. How is this
I don't
relationship to
think
you two?
me and her was the same. It'll work. She's a Capricorn and I'm Aquarius. We both strong-minded individuals. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when our mind is made up on something, that's just what it is. We just find a common ground. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to agree to disagree. We improvise with each other a lot. And we love each other. We loyal to each other, bro. So when it's like that, me and my wife have an argument every day. When I hear couples saying they don't argue, I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have two different individuals, you're gonna crash. You feel me? It's how you react and how you sustain in that relationship that matter. Like, do you really love this person? Because if you love this person, you ain't gonna keep on doing the same thing. You might do something similar, but you ain't gonna keep doing the same thing. That's insanity. Like that ain't gonna never change. But we didn't have clashes. We were fussing before we got here. We fuss every day, you know what I'm saying? But we love each other more every day, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, I think that's what keep us together, bro. You feel me? Like you can't fake and make it seem like internet life. Everything is all peaches and cream. That's cap.
Now back to the project at hand here. As far as the artwork for this project, can you explain to those in the audience the concept behind it, unless it's self-explanatory here?
It's self-explanatory. As you can see, Joseph was betrayed by his brothers. On the album cover, you can see his brothers trying to put him in a hole, which in the Bible story, they tried to put Joseph in a hole, and they was coming up with a plan to lie to his daddy about him, saying that wild animals have killed him, but he was wind up being sold into slavery. You know what I'm saying? And mine is very symbolic to my life, bro. Like I done been, through a lot of stuff with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? A love-hate relationship. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like it may be a little jealousy in there. You know what I'm saying? A little envious. I have been betrayed, lied on. And just left stranded. Feel like, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes it's just me. You know what I'm talking about? So I wanted to talk about this on my album. Like my album is not a diss record, but it's a dismiss. Like I'm standing up for myself now. I'm no longer being behind anybody. I'm in the front now, you know what I'm saying? And I think it rubs people the wrong way to be that way. As long as I'm saying I'm the weaker link, I think it make people comfortable. But when you have grown and you have learned how to, you know what I'm saying, live in the way who you is and walk in the truth of who you really is, it kind of irritate a lot of people's spirit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that people who you got love for, people who you loyal to, would be happy that you have arrived at that state in your mind. You know what I'm saying? That particular place in your life. But sometimes it be the people that's close to you that hate you the most. Familiarity brings on disrespect. You know what I'm saying? And that cover just is symbolic to that, not just to my brothers, but you know what I'm saying, to people in the world who, we are all brothers and sisters under God. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, as far as this artwork in particular, was this something that you came up with or a graphic designer here?
Um, I think it was a boat. You know what I'm saying? Me giving a concept of, where I wanted to go and what it was. Because at first they were saying, man, it's too preachy, it's too godly. I'm like, that's where I'm at in my life. It ain't too nothing. That's what I am. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get from around the people that were saying that because they didn't see the vision. And God ain't must allow it to happen because before I could even get through it, they try to sabotage the situation. You know what I'm saying? But God have a way and he got a sense of humor, bro, you know what I'm saying? And when he wants something to go forward, man, it's gonna happen no matter what. And the people who try to sabotage probably sitting back like, damn, man, I thought we got rid of that. They probably arguing and fussing with each other because they were supposed to get rid of it, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it all came together, man, just from, like I say, God gave me the vision in prison. And he said, it's time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to pay attention to the signs and symbols. You got to pay attention to the things that's happening around you to know when it's time. The only way you're going to see that, you have to be conscious and you have to have that relationship with God.
And do you want to shout out the graphic designer to this artwork?
Yeah, shout out to Benji, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, man. It's crazy, bro. Like, a lot of people that are on my team are fans, complete strangers. You know, I tried to work with people that I was familiar with, and it seemed like familiarity brings on disrespect. But a stranger, God say, man, you watch who you entertain. The stranger that you entertain, because it might be an angel. That's how I know God is real, bro, because people who don't know me are the most loyal to people to me right now. Most solid. You know what I'm saying? And some of them be coming, and you be like, man, what you want something? It be too good to be true, bro. That's how I know it be God.
And I also want to rewind on to something you said here, and that's something to the effect of you've saved people's lives. Is this your music saving people's lives? Is this your story saving people's lives? Is this you actually physically saving someone's
I
life here?
think it's all of that you just said, you know, and the head of it is God. God worked through people, you know. So if I'm being obedient and I'm walking in assignment, God is using me as a vessel, you know what I'm saying, to do things that only humans can do in this world. You know, sometimes people be sitting back and they be waiting, saying, man, I'm waiting on my blessing, I'm waiting on my blessing, I'm waiting. But your blessing can be right in front of you, God working through you, God working through my wife, you know, God working through different people that I encountered throughout my day, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't have that relationship and you don't know how that look, you will neglect that. You know what I'm saying? You will take it for granted. You feel me? And when people are reporting back and telling me things, I just smile, bro. And me and my wife be like, man, that's nothing but God, because of our relationship with God, we know that's what it is. This album, it wasn't a shock to us of what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you from the beginning to the end, the beginning song with CeeLo Green, he take him to church, bro. He give me that gospel CeeLo Green, and you just don't get no song from the great CeeLo Green, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the way how he came to me on this song, I was supposed to do a record with CeeLo at a video shoot with Ghetto Mafia Wicked. Him and CeeLo had a video shoot. And CeeLo had seen the controversy of what was going on with the Hot Boys reunion. And CeeLo was like, man, what's up? And I was surprised that he even knew who I was. He walked up to me. And I was a fan, you know what I'm saying? I was fanned out. But he was a fan, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, I got the perfect song for you. So I never did the song for him, but when I was working on this one song called Best Revenge, I say, man, this sound like CeeLo need to be on here. He gave me his number, so I reached back out to him. It was like nothing but God, bro. He got on the record, and not only got on the record, he sent me his whole session. So I got CeeLo vocals when he was probably messing up on certain things, and he sent me everything because he wanted it to be right, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know it wasn't nothing but God, so I'm grateful for CeeLo putting his gift on this project, bro. And I open it up with the great CeeLo, man, and it's nothing but God all the way through. So when people is listening to it, people go through or going through the similarities. Just like when I looked at Joseph, I was going through the similarities. You know what I'm saying? People can relate to it, bro. And it's changing people's lives because it's either giving them convictions to do the right thing. It's either inspiring them to keep on doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's making them want to do the right thing. And in order to do the right thing in this dirty world, bro, it can't be nothing but God. You feel me? Because as human nature, we want to do the wrong thing because it's hard doing right. You feel me? So when I say changing lives, God is changing lives through me, through my music, through my ministry. You know what I'm saying? And I give him all the glory for it.
Ministry, just using that word figuratively, or you literally have a ministry?
Your testimony, you know, is your ministry. The thing that you use and do to bring people close to God is your ministry. You know what I'm saying? People might think a ministry is a church building, you know what I'm saying? But your heart, where God lives at, that's where the church is at, you know? And doing things now in these days of times and talking about God is gonna bring more people in, because sometimes people be thinking that they got to go to church. God said, come as you are. So it ain't no church that you have to go to. You know what I'm saying? But that was what we was taught. You have to have a renewing of your mind, and the way you renew your mind with repetition of new information. You know what I'm saying? So the more you get information, the more you see God working in other people who not in the church building. If you know, Jesus went outside to the sinners. He went set with the sinners. The sinners wasn't in the church. You know what I'm saying? So when you know these things, it start to make sense. You know what I'm saying? And you could change your life for the better, bro.
How many people do you think you've saved their lives?
Man, man, I mean, I couldn't put a number on it, but I know a lot of people come up to me and the way how they respond, and, you know, Um, I could say millions, bro. You know, now will all of them say it? Nah, because some people, is in silence. Some people suffer in silence. Some people do good in silence. You know what I'm saying? But I know that God is working, and they don't have to come to me and say, "Man, you did that." You know, you can sense it. You see. You feel me? Anytime you might see somebody on YouTube who talking bad about you, negative, just you know, making you mad, but you over here now, and you can't do nothing but accept what's going on, but it's making you real mad. And then one day you get up and you see this person and had a change of heart. God did something. You feel me? You go to seeing the good, you go to seeing like, okay, well, that person do have some type of good in them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they is just doing a job. Maybe they think that's the only way they could do it if I be negative. But that's not the only way. You know what I'm saying? And I think this project showing people that it's other ways other than, pushing negativity to become, successful.
Now, this album was released on July 27th.
Exactly.
Was there any significance behind that release date?
Nah, actually, man, I didn't even know that the Hot Boys released their album on July 27th some years ago. And I found out once my album got released July 27th that it also was anniversary of the Hot Boys release.
In regards to this project, once again, are there any unknown facts or stories in regards to it that's never been publicly mentioned before?
Um, I'm more of a open book, bro. I feel like it's just a different format of me telling my story that they see every day. You know what I'm saying? I get more people attention because I put a beat behind it. But I'm always being transparent every day. I think with the music and my transparency with the music, it kind of like made people sit down and listen. And you know what I'm saying? Like I have been podcasting saying the same things. You feel me? Some people get mad when they hear the truth just raw and uncut like that. Well, let me try to do this same thing with a beat. You feel me? So when you go back to the podcast, you're gonna hear me saying the same thing at the podcast that I'm saying on the beat. When I'm doing interviews, you're gonna hear me saying the same thing that I'm saying on the beat. Everything is the truth, bro. You feel me? Like I tell no lie. I don't have no lie to tell. You feel me? I live a honest life. You know, I'm 44 years old, bro. Like I don't have time to play no games. And I don't have time for nobody or no man, woman to play games with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight up with everybody, and I expect the same thing. It's just respect with me, bro. You feel me?
Now, you just shared your age on camera. There are some recording artists that will not. Why no problem sharing your age here?
Because I embrace who I am. You know, age is nothing but a number. You feel me? And I'm not in an industry selling an age. I'm independent. I'm my own boss. So when I put out anything that I'm doing, it's me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not trying to fit in. I'm not trying to blend in. And I think a lot of people, man, be wanting to do the same thing, but they walk in fear. They be scared. I've been in this game since 14 years old. And that was a lie where they were saying that, man, you have to be young. I used to remember once upon a time, I used to shave my mustache, y'all, because I was told I had to look young. I need to look young, stay young. I'm 44 and I look young right now, you know what I'm saying? It's the young dudes and they saying it's a young man game, but they look older than me. You feel me? So I think people start following a trend, bro, and get caught up in that trend to where that trend is not even in no more. So I'm breaking all of that, and I'm walking in truth, bro, of everything, and God got me.
And just in case there's some misinformation online about you, care to share your birthday as well? You shared your sign previously
Yeah.
in this
All
conversation,
right, they know my birthday is February the 8th. I'm 81, baby, 44 for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an open book, bro. Like, I got a book, The Autothuggography of Turk, if you want to know any more about my life. You know, I believe in transparency, man. I believe that we are in today's time where you really can't hide anything. So, you know, if I tell you something about me before somebody else come tell you a lie about it, you didn't heard it before. So now what they saying, it don't even have no merit to it because he told us that. You know what I'm saying? I spoke about everything that was probably meant to make me look bad. I told you, yeah, I've been there, done that. I done been in prison, you know, for attempted murder on the police. I done been, you know, on heroin and cocaine. You know what I'm saying? I done been in messed up contracts and messed up situations. You feel me? I done been in lawsuits. I didn't anything you heard. I done been everything but the lies that they tell, bro. And that's why I always have to speak my truth because if I don't speak my truth, then they gonna believe the lies. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody need to control their own narrative if they in this business. You feel me? And being an entrepreneur, bro, is not easy. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be the one to make sure that everything is running smooth in order for me to feed my family.
And speaking of that book, where can those in the audience that haven't had a chance to know its existence or may have seen it but didn't know where to look
You
for
can
it, where
get
can
my
they find
book
it?
from Amazon, Walmart, you know what I'm saying? Lulu.com. It's global, worldwide. You can get it directly from me, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, I got my own app as well, you know what I'm saying? You can go to the App Store, Google Play Store, type in Hot Boy Turk and get a membership to get exclusive access. We go live on there. We got auctions on there. You got my music. You got exclusive videos, content, you know, everything that all the other apps that y'all watching and that y'all are part of. I was able to get my own app partner up with my seat, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, just doing some different things, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to keep it all together where my fans can, you know, not be distracted. I feel like having an app, it eliminates the haters, you know, because you have distractions when you on Instagram, when you're on Facebook. You know, you might want to have the moments with your fans and you talking and you sharing things with them, and here you got somebody trolling in the comment, you know, or you got somebody reporting your page because now you didn't got out your character saying something wrong. Now your page then got took, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, man, having your own app is an asset that everybody should invest in. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I happened to get mine before my album came out. And the crazy part, when my album dropped, soon when it go up, somebody did something. I don't know who it is. I can't pinpoint who it was, and got my whole album took down. So I had to go into, you know, hustle mode. You know what I'm saying? And survival mode. Good thing I had my own app. I was able to open up my app to the public and send out a private link. Now my whole album had basically leaked, and I wasn't too pissed off about not getting those first week spins and streams on Apple from, you know, these 9 million people that then came to my Instagram out of the, you know, all of the controversy and everything. But I feel like God is working, bro. Like it's time for Joseph, and you know, it's going crazy, man. If y'all haven't heard that album, man, from 1 to 17, y'all need to get into it.
And speaking of the app, is it available on all phones, Android, Apple,
Exactly.
things of that
Yeah,
nature?
it's available on all phones. You know, you just go to your app store and type in Hot Boy Turk, and there you go.
Now, in regards to technology and things of that nature, I think this next question is appropriate here, but was there any AI technology used in the creation of this album at all?
Um, Nah, I didn't use any AIs on this album, man. I don't think it would have been as authentic as it was if I would have used any AI, artificial intelligence. This album is official, not artificial. You feel me?
And when I say AI technology, not meaning your voice or things of that nature, but AI technology could be used some sort in maybe like the mixing process or the artwork
Now
process or
everything was hands on. You know what I'm saying? Everything was man hands on with it. Like I say, man, the full structure of it. I had my team, and we gave it to them the way how I knew to give it to them. You know what I'm saying? With that team, I come from that team. Cash Money was the team that I was a part of. You know what I'm saying? When I was a part of Cash Money, and I just remember sitting down, with the team and us, structuring these albums from the title of them to the chorus to the beat, to the mixing and the mastering, and Baby and Slim doing their thing and taking it to where it needed to go after that. You know what I'm saying? And it always works. So I just took what I learned from them and put it into my project, and that's why you see what you see. Everybody's saying it's kind of like reminding them of that Cash Money sound, but just modern day, And I think the fans, they was longing for that, and I delivered, bro. I delivered that.
And let's dive a little bit deeper with the actual music itself and the tracks here. There are 17 tracks. Why that amount for this one? Why not a little shorter, maybe like 15, or maybe a
Yeah.
little longer, like 19 or even further than that?
My team, I was trying to put 26 tracks on there. I'm gonna be real. But they were saying that people's attention spans are short, but I wasn't thinking of it like that. I just knew that I had bangers, and I knew they was gonna do what they needed to do for the people. But I listened to the team, you know what I'm saying? And they was right, People got short attention spans, but in my defense, a lot of people have been saying from beginning to end, I let it all the way ride. I didn't listen to it 5, 6 times. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear them say that, I'm like, well, I probably could have put more. But with that more that I didn't put, it leaves room for me to do another project, and seeing the response after not putting an album out in 24 years, bro. I haven't put an album out in 24 years and being fully independent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned from the best. Baby and Slim is, man, is I don't think they could be duplicated. But replicated, you know what I'm saying? If that's a little bit different, I feel like I came and I delivered what Cash Money was doing, you know what I'm saying, when they was doing when we was there. You feel me? Not saying that Cash Money not doing their thing now, but, to that degree of that sound had left. It wasn't around anymore due to the fact with Nicki Minaj and the Drakes and Weezy being Weezy, change up, you know what I'm saying? And our fans want that sound now. That's why we on tour. The nostalgia of that, you know what I'm saying? They missing it. So being able to give them that old Cash Money on tour and deliver that sound in 2025, bro, it's going crazy right now.
Now, you just mentioned some of these songs that didn't make it could be used for another project. Sometimes recording artists will save some of those extra songs for like a deluxe version to a body of work of this nature. Has that been a thought, perhaps, a deluxe for
Yeah,
this?
a deluxe most definitely been in the works, but my manager, for whatever reason that may be, fighting against me doing a deluxe. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you said it in my manager's presence. You know what I'm saying about the deluxe. You feel me? So maybe now she'll let me go ahead on and do a deluxe. You feel me? But now it's all love, bro. Like I believe that they gonna want more. And I'm gonna have to give them the deluxe for real, cause they wanting it, bro. And it'll go from, man, you put too many to, man, we want more. We want an encore, you know what I'm saying? And that's what this giving, bro. It's giving that. So I got them. I got those songs on deck that gonna make them respect. And that's all I really want. I want to respect in this game, because sometimes, bro, people are trying to keep you in your past. And if the past narrative was you was one way, you know what I'm saying? People who don't know you and that's all they hearing, that's what they educated to seeing and believing, you know what I'm saying? So my fight that I did, bro, I had to like basically show and prove that I'm a different him. You know what I'm saying? I'm God body. You know what I'm saying? I didn't experience a lot. I'm open. I'm too open. The people is going to feel it. And that's just what it is, bro. And like I don't think the people lying, bro. Like I say, I showed you my Instagram, how it's going crazy. Organic. It's organic numbers going crazy since July 27th. Today the 31st, and it's still going up, 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 up. So you know what I'm saying? Any labels that's out there, man, y'all probably don't be looking at me talking about, oh, he 44, he said his age. Look at the body of work. And if we can partner up, I'm open for that. You know what I'm saying? But if not, I'm gonna show y'all how we do it. when you got God pushing the whole pedal to the metal. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, speaking of numbers, how did that narrowing process work? Going from 26 to 17 here. Are you able to explain
Um,
that at all? Or
yeah, what my manager says 9 times out of 10, she really my wife. So she'll just give you this look, and it's a get on my nerves type of thing. You know what I'm saying? To where I give in. She the only one can make me give in. You feel me? So if she really wants something, she gonna get it. So that's what it was. She really wanted it like that, and she got it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when I come back with this deluxe, cause I'm gonna come, she wasn't talking about nothing. You feel me? And that's just what it gonna be, man. That's how we narrowed it down.
and 17 was the final amount of tracks on this project. 26 was what you were originally thinking.
Yeah,
But how many tracks did you have to choose from before you even got to the
man, I got
26?
hundreds of songs. You know, when you in the studio, you just basically recording. You know, you don't even count. You just record. I don't count. Record what I feel. If I feel something else, I might go to the next. I might just do a chorus. I might just do 2 lines. I might just, you know what I'm saying? But I write. I don't freestyle. You know, I don't like wasting time in the studio. When I go in there, man, I know what I'm going in there to do. You know, and I'm not in the studio with a bunch of people. I really don't even like the music to be loud because it make my teeth vibrate or something. I don't like it. You know, maybe I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear all the boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? That get to me. But I love music. I just don't like noise. You know what I'm saying?
Now, let's talk about writing here for a second. Paper or phone?
Phone.
And why phone for you?
Because you could copy and paste is more easier, you know what I'm saying, versus you getting paper and you can keep it in your notes, you know what I'm saying, versus losing it.
And when you recite these lyrics that you've written, do you read them and record, or do you memorize them and record?
Both, both. You know, if it's a song that I've been practicing before I got to the studio, you know, I'm going it's gonna be memory. But if it's one that I just did, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm a read it, but I'm gonna try to read it to where like it sound like I remembered it by memory. You know what I'm saying?
So if there was a circle chart of 100%, what percentage do you think it's you reading your lyrics versus memorizing?
Um, I'll say 60-40.
And 60 which way, just to be clear?
60 in memorizing it.
And you mentioned you don't freestyle. Have you even tried it before,
Yeah,
freestyling and
when I'm
punching?
playing around, you know what I'm saying? But I think freestyling, man, I can't give a person an album freestyling. You know, I could give them a mixtape doing that. Like, you know, you gotta put your all, you gotta pull your heart out when I feel like when you're doing an album. You know what I'm saying? It's personal. You know, when you freestyling, I feel like you're just trying to go get a bag. You know, it ain't that serious. All I gotta do is go put some words together and I get some money. Right now, if I don't make $1 off this and I change somebody's life, I did my part. That's the difference from me doing this project and me doing a mixtape project. And I had did several mixtape projects, you know, and doing those mixtape projects, they didn't take off like this one is taking off. You know what I'm saying? So it is a difference. And my thought process of me knowing that it's a difference and then getting the fruits of knowing that it's a difference, I was right.
And for historical purposes here, how did you start out when it came to music initially? Was it writing first or freestyling first?
I
Very, very
always
initially.
started off writing, you know, but that was when I used to write in notebooks, spiral notebooks, composition notebooks, toilet paper, paper bags, anything that I could write on, you know what I'm saying? I'm writing.
And when it comes to writing, just winding down the questions about that specifically, have you experienced writer's block?
Yes. Everybody experienced writer's block. You know what I'm saying? It be times I probably ain't writing months. You know what I'm saying? But when I don't be in writer's block, I probably could make about 15, 20 songs, you know what I'm saying, in a week. You know, some people probably do that in a day, but I don't know, but I'm not gonna exaggerate. I could probably do it like a week, you know what I'm saying?
When writer's block does take place, how do you cope with that?
I just, let it happen organic, man. You can't force it. You feel me? It ain't gonna come out right. Like doing my music, bro, I have to feel it, you know, cause it ain't what you saying, it's how you saying it. If you not saying it, people not gonna feel it. You feel me? So I'm coming with that straight from the heart, man. They about to cut you, you about to feel it. Like, from the ad libs to the beat, to the lyrics, to the in and outs. Everything gonna be structured. And you gonna know, he was serious.
Just curious here, what's the longest you worked on a song? You start it, have writer's block, you put it down, and you end up finishing it at another point of time.
The longest, probably a day and a half, something like that.
Not one of those songs you put it down and 3 years later you find it and like, oh, here it
Nah,
is.
nah, nah,
Okay,
nah,
not one
none
of
of that.
those. Just curious there. Well, in regards to this project, winding down the questions here about that, the track list. Who put this track list order together?
It was a group effort, you know what I'm saying? I think everybody, the engineer, my wife, producers, me, as far as with the title and things. My wife and engineer, the ones who put it like in format structure. Like, I think we gonna ride it out like this. We gonna slow it down. We gonna speed it up right here. That was my wife, all my wife. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to do that, so I guess she was executive producer on that part.
And how long did that take? Just the track list order itself.
Um, Me and my wife actually worked on a track list at home. We was at home listening to the radio, and listening to the songs that I had recorded, and we kind of like did a collab note from the iPhones. You know what I'm saying? And we just were playing the music and seeing what sound like what and what blend in nice with the next. And when we got to the studio, of course I had added more songs, and she, like I say, that's when the argument came and the disagreement came. And man, when my wife disagreeing, bro, she gonna get her way. She gonna wind up getting her way. I just walked out, man. When I came back in, I was like, oh, that's it. So when she strongly arguing me about something, she normally be right. But I be putting her resistance, you know what I'm saying? But she always be right.
Well, then I do want to ask her this question here in particular if she's open to answering it. If not, that's okay. I know you don't have a mic, but you can still be heard. When it came to the track list, was there any strategy in regards to the track list order?
Yeah, it was. We definitely wanted to kind of tell a story with it and have it like in some type of order, like the beginning, the middle, and the present. So you listen to the Joseph story where I did, and I saw how it played out. So I kind of put the songs in place as far as how the story went to in relation to Turk, and that's how we came up with the order.
Now, diving in on the actual songs here. Out of these 17, what is your absolute favorite?
Um, Joseph, the self-titled track. And the reason being, man, from the beginning to the end, it talks about my testimony, my wife's testimony, my kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's my world, you feel me? So I gave my fans my world on that song to be able to open up about our weaknesses and our strengths. How we went from nothing to something, and how from me being in prison, my wife being a breast cancer survivor, to being 13 years cancer free, my kids being 1 to 12 years old. It just was like things, the transition in our life in 3 verses, bro. And that's one of the heartfelt songs on the album. And I think a lot of people, when they hear that song and they done seen all these things take place, they done got to see me go to prison. They saw the headlines of the shootout with the police. They saw me during the time. They saw her holding me down, coming to visit me for 8 months, 16 days. You know what I'm saying? They saw, and they damn near grew up with my twins and watched my twins grow up with them. You know what I'm saying? They watched my wife have to go through chemo and radiation and me being there the whole time. And they watch how people betrayed us. They watch how, You know, we kept our head up high, you know what I'm saying? And we could have crashed out. We could have got on the same people energy, but we kept our integrity, our morals, our principles, and we stayed God-fearing, and we overcame it together. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people respect us together as a couple and got the utmost respect for my wife.
And do you recall who produced this beat?
Young Baller. Young Baller, man, he's an artist, producer out of, I think, Texas. And he produced, in the beginning, man, it was nothing but Young Baller beats, you know. But like I say, those people who try to sabotage me erased my whole studio session files, and I lost all those songs that I recorded. And I knew something was about Joseph then when the reason why they did it didn't make sense. And I don't even want to talk about them, you know, but my whole project, it was a devil's attack from the time when I started working on it, bro. You know, and they did not want it to come out. From the time when it came out, somebody did something to make the whole album come back down. So now it ain't on Apple Music. But we about to re-release it, you know, and we gonna do it quiet as kept. So when we do it, a press release gonna go out, and the fans who didn't, and the fans who got subscriptions at Apple Music, they gonna rush it, and it's gonna go #1, you know. And all of the charts and all that they say that you got to have this big budget. You have to have this Beyonce $2 million a song. You got to have this for the song to do this. Not today. Not today. And I think a lot of people gonna learn that, and they gonna see that I'm opening up a new wave, and God is showing people, just trust him. You know what I'm saying? Trust him and watch how he show out.
And care to share how many kids you have at this point?
I have 3. I have a 25-year-old son and 12-year-old girl and boy twins.
And all with Emani here?
Nah, my oldest son is with my first baby mother out of New Orleans, and my girl and boy twins is with my wife.
Now, favorite or not, what's your most honest song on this album?
My most honest song have to be You Too. You Too, man. I feel like that song right there, man, with everything that's going on, you know, all of the songs are real, but that song just, from every bar, it's something that went on in my life and something that's still going on in my life, and it's something that's gonna continue to go on in everybody's life every day. So it's one of those classic songs, not verse, that people will be able to relate to forever, bro. This song will never get old. It's one of those. You too, nigga, you too. You too, damn, you too. You too, hell nah, you too. Damn, everybody hating. I thought everybody was cool. I thought so. Speak my mind and them niggas don't like it. 5 minutes later, they doing shit just like me. I ain't had the money, so the shit was funny. Now I'm too turned, nigga, on they ass and stunting. Kept me Louis V shopping, big car copping, brand new Hummer with your baby mama bopping. House lasted sloppy, all white golly, 6-bedroom, no shoes on my carpet. Follow me now, nigga, cause I'm a hot boy. I know you thought it was over, you mad as not, boy. Turk the original, you a decoy, and you don't wanna go to war, don't make me deploy. Yeah, you too. Nigga, you too? You too? Damn, you too? You too? Hell nah, you too? Damn, everybody hating. I thought everybody was cool. I thought so. Man, listen, man. That song is kind of like, I feel a spirit when I'm singing it. And then the beat is so Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Louisiana. It's like, yeah, you bought that old Manny Fresh sound, that NBA young boy, that New Orleans, man. Listen, I brought it back, and I feel like I opened up the doors to that sound that we've been longing for all over again. This Joseph album is crazy. If y'all don't got it, man, stupid. And I'm talking that shit, and I'm backing it up. Believe that.
And speaking of that beat, who produced that as well?
That was produced by Adam on the track. You know what I'm saying? He producer with Northern B out here in Atlanta. You know what I'm talking about? And it's crazy. The beat sound Louisiana though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know what you want. I know what I got to give you. That motherfucker going dumb. That's also about to drop as a single on all platforms, but it's on the album. But it took off as a single. Like everybody all from around the world making videos and they listening to it, they working out to it, they driving their cars, you know what I'm saying? They cutting grass. One person was they in the gym, they just doing all kind of stuff to the YouTube because they could feel it, bro. Everybody got haters, and you don't know who they be, but then when you find out, you be like, damn, you too? Oh hell nah, you too? Damn, everybody hating. You feel me? I thought everybody was cool. And we all be thinking that everybody cool till you find out that damn, everybody over there hating on you and it fucks you up. You know what I'm saying? It fucks you up, bro. And the only thing that can make you get through it is this music. This music just gets you through it because you ain't the only one.
Now, I do want to ask you about two specific songs on this track list. There's a song titled Still on Fire.
Exactly.
Is this a continuation of We on Fire?
Now, Still on Fire basically is one of those ones too where I'm talking, because a lot of people were saying that you was the last hot boy, you the least hot boy, you know what I'm saying? And it pissing me off, because I'm knowing I'm a beast. You feel me? I don't know where they get that stigma from, bro. Like, I can't, I ain't. So I had to let them know I'm still, you feel me? Still on fire, I ain't cool off yet. If I ain't a hot boy, then what do you call that? Telling the truth, not hating. I ain't never testified, gave a statement. A lie nigga lie on me cause they hate me. I got receipts, homie, I'm just paper chasing. I made history, ain't no erasing. Mind your business, keep that sucker shit away from me. Grinding on my own, just another day for me. Me and the maid woman, that's all I need. Pocket watching that nigga, try me, you gon' bleed. Nigga can't deny me, got my own team. The only op I got is opportunity. Still got love for my block and my community, nigga. Still on fire, I ain't cool all yet. If I ain't a hot boy, then what do you call that? So I'm talking to him like I'm looking in this camera like, yeah, I'm gonna remind y'all. Now what you got to say? Oh yeah, that boy ain't playing. It's just like, man, give me my respect, man. But in a humble way, you know what I'm saying? In a humble way, you feel me? Like, cause you wrong. You believe in these lies. Nah. Let me remind you and let me show you, don't never ever assume nothing that you don't know.
And I also want to ask you about
Produced
this.
by DT Spacely, my bad, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I also want to ask you about this. You have a song called Back Again, speaking of the Maid Woman.
Exactly.
You've got other songs with her as well. You have projects with her as well.
Yeah.
But how many songs do you have together? Just you two, unreleased.
Man, unreleased songs,
at this
we
point.
got probably about 2 albums, you know. We got about 2 albums, and, you know, we're gonna release them too, bro, because a lot of people always ask me, when Emani gonna drop? When Emani gonna drop? You know, and a lot of people thinking I be holding her back, but I'm her biggest fan. I promise you, I want her to drop, especially with all these females doing their thing. But my wife, she more of a wife, God-fearing woman, a mother, you know. Maybe she want to do it when my kids get 21 or something. I don't know. You feel me? But I think her priorities is that first, you know what I'm saying? And with rap, bro, you know, she see what I go through with the rap, you know what I'm saying? She support me, you know what I'm saying? She my manager, you feel me? So she know what come with it, bro, and I don't know if that's why, you know, she probably, man, I don't have time for that shit, you know, let me do what I'm doing and help you get the money, and you know what I'm saying? I do my other businesses, stuff that I don't have to be that way. I could just get people, you know what I'm saying, to run the properties for me. You feel me? So, like, that's like she an administrator in the background, like, but she making everything happen. Like I'm just the face. She like Slim and I'm Baby. You feel me? I can just put it like that.
Well, because she is here, I do want to ask her and pitch her this same question. Do you want to share a status update on that?
know, music is my passion, but I also know that there's different roles that you have to play at different times. And right now, my role is not an artist. My role is to be a manager, to make sure I push Turk because he has the platform and he is the key to opening the door for me to walk straight through. So I need to be his support right now. I understand it. Sometimes I don't think he understands it because he always tell me, "You need to drop. You need to drop." I believe in divine timing for things, and I will when I know the time is right. That's how I feel about it.
So just for the record, he is not holding you back musically.
Absolutely not. He is down my throat about it.
Man,
So,
man, you know that I can sit back if she do her thing.
yeah. So he's
Shit, I've been trying to psych her up so I don't have to do it. Shit, working me like a Hebrew damn slave.
But with Joseph doing as good as he's doing now, it's easier for me not to have to work so hard. I can just come on the stage with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do want to ask you this: what's a studio session like when you two are collaborating?
Man, to be honest, bro, like we like night and day. You know what I'm saying? Before we go in the studio, we been ahead our raps. You feel me? Like we both write. She write, I write. You know what I'm saying? And once we go in there, it just we lay it down. Like we don't waste no time. We don't have a bunch of people with us, bro. It just be us, the engineer, our security. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like we don't have no vices. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no drugs. You know, our kids will be in there sometime with us, you know, and that's it, man. We create. We probably every time we go in there, we gonna do at least about 4, 5 songs. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we go home, bro. And you know, like that's what we do, man.
Do you want to pitch in here and fact check
Well,
that?
That's what we do, but we bump heads sometimes because he'll try to say, "You need
Yeah.
to say it like this," and I'm like, "How you gonna tell me how to say it?" You know, so we have those little back and forths in the studio.
Cause I know, but
Yeah.
she write her own stuff. Sometimes I just be telling her just say it like this. You know what I'm saying? And you know, nobody who rap and do their thing wanna be tell me, don't you can't tell me how to say this. But sometimes it's good for people to tell you how to say things. You know what I'm saying? They can hear and see different stuff.
Now, there are 10 features on this body of work as well. Care to share who's your favorite?
I don't have any favorite feature on there, and if I did, it'll be my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to have everybody that's on there: Lil Wayne, Kodak, CeeLo Green, man, my wife, man, Double A, man, Beasley, Cole. You know what I'm saying? The main character. You know, man, the list goes on, man. Black and Mild. You know what I'm saying? We got my dog Young Ralph. You feel me? Everybody that's on there, man, anybody that I left out, Bianca Spear, you know what I'm saying? She's singing on that Dirty World, you know. Yeah, man, shout out to everybody, bro. If I left y'all out, y'all know, you know, hey, I'm sorry, but, you know, I appreciate everybody. No favorites.
And when it comes to financially speaking on this project, especially the features, were they all organic features, for lack of a better phrase, with this project, like you described with the CeeLo, or were any of these features paid features?
All
for
of
example?
them were organic features, you know. That the Wayne and Kodak Black feature, it came a time when they was at odds with each other, and Kodak reached out to me. That's how me and him, you know, got acquainted. And I told him I had a record. I believe he was in Jamaica at the time. And he said, send it to me. I sent it to him. Man, I got the record the next day. And this one, it was, I want to see, they don't want to see you winning. They want to see you in a penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Like Kodak had, he fresh out, hot, you feel me? So when he did the record, I didn't even think he was going to do it. But man, homie, it was a real one. Did it, knocked it out, boom. Weezy, man, I got Kodak on the record, man. Now, first I had put the song out with me and Kodak, you know what I'm saying? And bam, I told Wayne, man, look, man, I got this record, bro, you know? Man, bop, bop, bop. Send it. Wayne did it. Man, I got that record back from Wayne, boy. I was like, well, Wayne had already did like 4 songs for me already. You Mad Jet, Zip It. We did the Ballin' Like a Hot Boy, and he put me on the No Ceilings thing. So I'm almost Wayne welcome out, I guess. But Wayne got on there, bro. And when he did that, I'm like, man, this is history right here. To put Wayne and Kodak on a record together, I was the first one to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, I've been had the record, you know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of people, at first I was like, man, bro, I can't put this record out, it's old, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like when people haven't heard something, it's old to me. It's people that done had records 15 years ago and it didn't went platinum, you know what I'm saying? It's different days and times of how music is, you know what I'm saying, consumed now. So I went on and, did my thing with it, bro. And the fans love it, bro, you feel me? But man, shout out to Weezy, shout out to Kodak, man, for blessing me with that record.
Now, zooming out, where do you stand on that debate, paid features versus organic features? Because there's people on both sides here. There's some artists that say, and they publicly say this, I'll never pay for a feature. And then they're, so on and so forth. Where do you stand on that debate, zooming out?
It all depends on, like, how you reach out, If it's a major artist, man, and this major artist, you don't know him, you don't have no type of relationship with him, you shouldn't expect them to do no free feature for you just because you asked them, Because I didn't have people that reached out to me. They may be hot, but I don't even know who they is. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't had arguments with my little brother-in-law because when I tell him who the people be, he know them. Man, you should have did that, man. But I be feeling like it's disrespectful for when a person come to you and be like, man, man, do this. And then when I be like, what's your budget? You feel me? They get mad as if, I'm supposed to do it because I know them. So I could empathize and feel like, you know what I'm saying, if a person is somebody and you reach out to them, bro, you should pay them if that's what they want. You shouldn't feel like because you got motion, you know what I'm saying, you could get the record for free from anybody. Because, man, some people ain't going for that, bro. But if you have a relationship with somebody, I feel like, it should be organic. But even in that situation, if a person say, nah, man, I can't do it, you never know why they telling you. They might be in a financial bind. You know what I'm saying? I think if you get it, be grateful for it because everybody not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that could go any way, bro. Like, I see it. I'm just open-minded and I understand all sides of it.
Were you one of those artists even once upon a time that was like, I'm never paying for a feature? If it ain't organic, could care less.
Now, I ain't never say I'm never paying for a feature, but I don't expect people to do stuff for me for free. So, you know what I'm saying? When they do it, I'm happy. That's why I say even with Lil Wayne and Kodak, I ask now, because the closed mouth don't get fed. But I'm not going to get mad if they like, man, I ain't doing that. And feel like, man, you got it, man, I didn't ask plenty of people to do features on this album, and you know what I'm saying, they didn't do it. I couldn't be mad they didn't do it, but they probably wish they did it now.
Was there a thought on having no features for this project?
Nah, feature that I wish I could have gotten that I didn't were all the Hot Boys on Still on Fire. And the reason why I wanted that, not because the song wasn't hot by itself, the fans was requesting, since they hadn't seen us on tour, man, you need to put the Hot Boys on this and do the remix, da-da-da-da-da. So that's the only feature that I wish I would have got, you know what I'm saying? I think that should be going crazy right now. But, you know what I'm saying, I guess it wasn't in God's plan for that to happen. Joseph doing what he doing, you know what I'm saying, without that feature, you feel me?
And imagine, based on your previous description here, closed mouths don't get fed, assuming that you did try to make that happen.
Yeah, my mouth was loud with that one, you feel me? But like I say, I don't know, for whatever reason. And it's cool, you know what I'm saying? I ain't doing no tripping, man. Like, I sent that record to him and I asked and I swallowed my pride and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I did 1 million views on that by myself. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It didn't happen and it's cool, but look at Joseph now. So I probably was wrong thinking that if I do this gonna make my album do what it's doing right now, but it didn't. it's doing what it's doing without them being on it. You know what I'm saying? And I held my own.
2 more questions here about this album, and then we'll be done with this segment. What have you learned about yourself through the creation and release of this album?
I learned that if you put your all into something, man, and you believe without a shadow of doubt, and you just go with what you know, man, it ain't no limit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no limit, bruh. And, you know, I accomplished something in a couple days that people dream of. It's a bunch of people saying, man, this is it. I didn't expect this of you. But it just showed me that so many people were misled and misinformed, bro. So if I wouldn't be talking and saying anything, it'll be a bunch of misinformed people out there. You have to get out there and inform the people, because if they got a perception of you, sometimes people don't even tell you. They just walk around and just you'll feel the energy and be like, damn, why everybody acting like this? But I had discernment to see where the threat and the problem was coming from, and I fixed it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And now it ain't no looking back. Joseph.
And last question. Can you give the audience 5 reasons to listen to this album?
Because it's one of the best solo projects that's out right now. The best solo project out right now. That's 5. Yeah, that's 5, man. Yes, indeed. Joseph out right now, man. Go get that if y'all don't got that. You heard me? Follow me on my Instagram, Original Hot Boy Turk. Click that link in my bio. You know what I'm saying? And just know, man, it is what it is. You feel me?